Hello everybody, this is Renault, and today I'm going to do something I don't normally do, but I'm offering a little campaign critique, and this is going to be for Tales from the Classroom, and I'm going to offer this critique because I do really want to this book did look really interesting, but there are a couple of things that I was taken aback, or caused me some hesitation. So I'm just going to go over that right now. I did watch the video just to make sure I knew what was going on and everything. So it was actually a really good video. But it went over everything about the book. It was well done. Congratulations, by the way, to Von Klaus for offering some voiceover assistance. Going through this video, Rob Muerto, he did a shout out to his project creators and co-creators. The only question I would ask is I would like to know who the editor on this book is, or if there is one, because sometimes people just don't list the editor as well, and that's something I want to know. I want to know who the editor of the book is. Yeah. Edit. Yeah, so he doesn't list who his editor is. And that's something that I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it during the video, otherwise I have to take that back. But yeah, he lists who is on his project, but he doesn't list his editor. I want to know who your editor is as well. And that's just something personal, but anyway, looking through the tiers, I would never recommend a digital option. It gives people a cop-out to not pay the full price. Plus, it opens up your project to piracy. But that, again, that's a personal thing, but about your campaign in general, that I would just not recommend. He's got a digital and a digital deluxe. I've already expressed my opinion on digital. Your price point here is incredibly low. Now, I don't know whom was advising you on this price point, but $13 is just too low. I don't care if it's a 10-page book or a 20-page book. This is $13 will not cover your shipping in many cases, and it's I doubt if ever paying for your other co-creators, and that's before you even wind up paying yourself, which, whatever. Okay, so it looks like maybe your books have already been created, because it looks like you were about to get published, but then the publisher fell through. So maybe that's what's going on here, but otherwise I would definitely recommend just increasing this price, just because, but again, let's just go to the campaign page itself, and one of the things I noticed right away is that your character, your zombie character here, he doesn't really say or do anything, and I understand that the purpose of that is to show how out of depth and out of touch he is. But in this presentation where he doesn't really say or do anything, as such, it kind of just, we have no reason to get invested in who he is. I mean, maybe there is a story there. He says that back in the past where he used to come from, he was some awesome McGee or whatever. But here, as a backer, I have no reason to be invested in him in this presentation. And cue Eddie the Werewolf. Now, Eddie the Werewolf and this teacher, these two creatures in just one panel each, where they're featured, have done more than the, because his back is turned here, which don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful layout, it's a beautiful stage. But this is not necessarily the first page we want to see with the character's back turned. And this is a little bit different. This is like a presentation page. But this is a little bit different. I want to see as little of this as possible, just because we don't see him. We only see his back. So that's something, you know. I'm assuming that the book is already actually created, and it's just going to the printer and everything, and some cleanup and touch-ups, etc., etc. So I'm pretty sure that, although this is a beautifully colored page, beautifully laid out, it's not necessarily a great page to showcase this early. And so anyway, going back to all this Eddie the Werewolf and the teacher have shown to be more engaging than the main character in just a couple of panels. I mean, look at this. This is cool. And this is interesting. But your character hasn't done much of anything. So that's kind of a problem, because we're supposed to, and another back turn, but we need to be invested in him, and he's not doing anything. So ideally, for these first couple of pages, it would show, hey, I used to be awesome, and it would show him like getting zombie girls, or show him doing like his zombie weightlifting and winning an award, or giving a speech, because he's actually not very athletic as a zombie, I suppose. Maybe giving a speech or being the class president. And then you could show this. So you could show him at the top of his life. Then you show him like this. Oh, then you can showcase him and his fall from grace. I used to be the class president. I used to be, I don't know, what's another, I used to have an excellent job, even though I was a high school student. And then you show him like this, and he's fallen down. He's fallen grace. He's just embarrassing himself. Now I'm at the bottom of the heap. And it sucks because zombies are already looked down upon. And now you see him being, you know, getting clowned on. But in these panels, Eddie the Werewolf is a character I want to know more about. Just presentation here. Oh, he's empathizing with, think about this. He's standing up to this badass teacher. Look at him. He's standing up to her. He's looking up at her. He's not bowing down or cowling or diverting his eyes. He's facing this threat quite literally head on. So we're engaged in Eddie the Werewolf here. We're engaged in his teacher because of this awesome design. But we're not engaged in this guy who just gets pushed aside. And so anyway, Eddie the Werewolf is empathizing with him, etc., etc. Food for thought, you know, I like that. Anyway, and this is another character we're a little bit more invested in. Oh, finally, a werewolf with a diverse diet. So she is talking up Eddie. Again, another character that we're already invested in. She's talking up Eddie the Werewolf, so we're getting more invested. She's letting him know that even if it's because of his something as simple as he has a variety of palate as opposed to just eating the same thing every day. So this is showing depth because she is empathizing with him. That makes her a good character too because it humanizes this character. But we still haven't gotten anything from the main character. We've got nothing. We've gotten a lot on this guy. We got a little bit on this. We got a little bit more from the professor. We've gotten a lot on Eddie again. But nothing on the main character. The main character, we haven't gotten anything. So this is a situation where the main character who we're supposed to be invested in, but we have no reason to be invested in. I want a story about this guy. I want a story about Eddie the Werewolf. Or at least presentation. He's almost like... Now, there is one exception. Anybody who's familiar with a Final Fantasy XII, you're introduced to the main character of Vaughn. But Vaughn is just a side character in an epic tale that's taking place all around him. And Vaughn is just supposed to be experiencing the world around him, and he's not actually the main character, even though he's the first character we're introduced to. That could be what's happening, but I doubt it because it's a very rarely used technique. That situation in Final Fantasy XII, where we're introduced to the character, the only other time I can think of where I've ever seen that kind of an introduction is in Psycho, where we're following around that girl, and for half the movie we're following her around and then she gets killed. That's the only other kind of situation where we're introduced to a character who is actually not the main character, even though they get a lot of screen time. And so maybe he's pulling off that kind of a rarely used narrative where we're introduced to this character, the zombie character, but he's actually an observer to the world around him. But I don't think so. Let me know when you're making a story about Eddie the Werewolf. I want to know more about that guy. So anyway, the perks and the etc. etc. I've already mentioned that I personally think the price point is too low. But anyway, another thing I do want to say that I like a lot, I see that this character is zooming straight in on that ass. I see you, Chupacabra thing. Oh, and she likes it. She's into that attention. I see you. See, this is an interesting dynamic. I'm not sure if his eyes are open, but he is literally looking down on either Eddie or zombie character. Oh, and by the way, he's being set up as to be a main antagonist, by the way. The only slight quibble I have is that he's called a Nosferatu, which is the highest of the high when it comes to vampires. He's the cream of the crop, and he's the top of the food chain. But when I think of the word Nosferatu, let me show you something. I think of... where is he at? Where is he at? Anyway, there's a scene where he's walking in the hallway, and then there's actually like a different zombie character. Not zombie, a vampire character. And he's kind of ugly-ish. And so that's what I think of when I think of a Nosferatu. If Rob Muerto sees this, he'll know what I'm talking about. You know, I like the art, by the way. That's actually one of the main things I like about the story is the art. I like this cartoony style. It's one of the things I really liked about Von Klaus's book, that cartoony style. And I see this little sight gag here, his leg, and then it's being pulled off. And so, anyway, those are the things I wanted to mention about the campaign itself. I also have some personal issues, one being which we don't see the editor. I don't like that, but another thing to mention, and this is a personal gripe, I have 823 followers, and I don't do crap. All I do is, on Twitter, every once in a while I'll make a YouTube video, but it doesn't really count. I have 123 followers, despite me having an account that was created in 2009. I didn't actually start posting on Twitter until almost 8 years later, in the start of 2017. So in about a little over 2 years, I've got 823 followers, while Muerto is a creator, but he only has 217 followers. Now, I'm very hesitant to back a creator if I have more followers than them. I backed a creator when I have more followers than them, and that project never got completed. And so, this is a kind of a different situation. I understand that. Oh, by the way, here's that Nosferatu character. When I think of Nosferatu, I think of this kind of a zombie character. This is what I think of when I say no. Again, it's a minor quibble and a personal taste, but whatever. Anyway, I'm kind of hesitant to back someone if I have more followers than you. Sorry, dude, that's just kind of me. As a creator or comments. I expect you to have a lot more than followers on Twitter, just because that's something very easy to do. But you're on your way, so good luck with that. The thing is that it seems like overall, Real Rob Muerto is just a relatively new. This is obviously an alias, by the way, but all the same, when I go to Instagram, which is where most of his followers are, you know, I see that his very newest account, or his new posting that I could find on Instagram, was from April 24th. April 24th. Come on. Is that of 2000? Yeah, April 24th of this year. So it's relatively new. You've obviously had this idea in the back burner for a publisher going all the way back to 2013, but you know, there's really no presence here or no interest in the book otherwise. So that's kind of a problem with me, because like, oh well, if this is your passion project, where has it been all your life? You know, again, that makes me a little bit hesitant to back the book. But that's a personal thing. It's like, the book has been out since 2013. Where's your love of this project? You know what I mean? So anyway, my critique of this particular campaign. If you would enjoy this kind of book, again, the price is very cheap. I think that's because it's been published, and maybe he has all the files already. And all he needs to do is just pay for printing and shipping. But dude, even if you're paying for printing, this will absolutely not cover your international shipping. Are you shipping 2 books? A second. Yeah, your tiers in and of themselves are not exception. They're not exceptional. Like, you've got 1, 2, 3 digital tiers. Stop it. Get some help. You know what you should do is talk to John Nayland. I don't know if you have already, but talk to John Nayland. He will hook you up with some interesting tiers and give you some advice on tiering. Because this 3 digital options, digital is a cop-out. 4 high-res pinups, 2 physical copies, and a back-end cover. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.